The idea of the 5 laws is simply that you exist, which means that if you exist now, you always will. You may change form, but you will always exist. Your point of view is unique and will always exist, because if you didn't exist, all that is would not be all that it could be. So you are valuable, you are worthy, you are deserving of that existence. And to go into states of unworthiness, lack of deservability, in essence, is to argue with creation about your value. Please believe us, if you were not absolutely crucial to the idea of all that is being all that is, you would not exist. It doesn't make mistakes, so you cannot be a mistake in any way, shape, or form. Thus, when you allow yourself to stop arguing with creation about your worth and start aligning with the idea that you are in existence for a reason, then you can experience that existence more in alignment with creation, with the flow of creation, and allow yourself the benefit of that relationship, of that positively oriented relationship with creation. Law number 2 is simply that everything is here and now. That time and space, in a sense, are your projections, your illusions that allow you to experience the process of discovering yourself from another point of view. The third law is that the one is all, the all are one, which means that separation is an illusion as well. Everything is the same one thing from a different point of view. So you are all that is, experiencing itself as an aspect of itself, as another point of view of itself, as another perspective of itself, so that it can experience itself from all the possible perspectives that it can, and know and discover itself in that way. Because you see, the structure itself never really changes, but your experience of it, your point of view of it, does, and that's what expands creation. The fourth law is what you put out is what you get back, which simply means whatever frequency you operate on, whatever definitions you hold to be true, generate a particular energetic vibration that you radiate. And because physical reality is just an illusion, is really nothing more than a mirror, it reflects back to you the ideas that you are giving off, the beliefs that you are holding to be true. And so when you experience your physical reality, if you find that it requires, in your opinion, some adjustment, the first thing to adjust is the definitions within you, because the definitions, what you believe to be true, what you define to be true, are the fundamental foundation of your experience of physical reality, and everything is built upon that. Emotions and feelings stem from something you believe to be true. You cannot have an emotion or a feeling about anything unless you have a definition of that thing first. So when you have emotions, when you have thoughts, when you have behaviors that you believe are out of alignment with who you prefer to be, you can trace those behaviors and trace those thoughts and trace those feelings back to what kind of a definition would have to exist in order to generate those kinds of feelings, those kinds of thoughts, those kinds of behaviors, and the consequential experience that stems therefrom. It all begins with the foundational belief and definition, in much the same way that building a house has to begin with a foundation, and everything else is on top of that. The emotions being the builders of the house, the thoughts being the building materials of the house, the behaviors being how you find living in that house, the quality of life in that house. So if you find that the house is a little bit stifling, if you find that it is falling apart, if you find in that sense that it's not being built in the way that you would prefer, go back to the blueprint, go back to the foundation, make the adjustments there, and everything else will follow suit. The fifth law is that everything changes except the first 4 laws. So things will always change, as we said. You will always be discovering a new idea, a new point of view, a new perspective of yourself. That's how creation expands, and that's the nature of it.